evening, Anupam. Good morning.
Hello, Akshay.
Hi, Ashish. Hello, Umesh.
Yeah,
Hi.
I think we can start now. It's already past 3 minutes. So, any question you have in from the previous sessions, if you want to clarify anything, then we can take that first, or we can start from uh, for the new topics now.
Anupam, I have one question regarding the billing. Means in last class we had like if a query is running for 65 seconds, then it will be billing will be of 65 seconds only. But let's say means uh, if the query is running for only 5 seconds, then the billing will be for 5 seconds or 1 minute, which is
No,
default.
so whenever you start any warehouse, right? So by default, it will take 60 minutes. Means it will be charged. You will be charged for 60 seconds. Okay. Whenever you
So
any fire a query, it will be charged for 60 second initially, but after that it will be for per second.
yes, okay.
So
So means
you can say
yeah, first time, yeah,
this is the
it's like
minimum charge you need to pay whenever you run a query.
okay.
Yeah. Okay. Any other question? Okay. Let me present my screen. Okay. Let me know once you are able to see. So last time we discussed little bit about the different type of tables, correct? So this time we are going to see like table types are clear, right? Permanent table, temporary table, and transient table. Temporary table is just a temporary table which will be live till the session is alive. Otherwise, it will be dropped. Permanent table and transient table almost the same, just the difference is the fail safe time. Okay, fail safe time means Snowflake provides some time after the time travel also, where Snowflake can go back and retrieve the data for you. Okay, the fail safe time is not the that fail safe duration is not where you can directly go and take a rollback, or you can take back the data. This is only the time travel window where you have the capability to go back in time and take out or roll back that deletion or the anything whatever you have done in that time, right? So but apart from that time travel also, Snowflake provides some fail safe duration, where if you want to retrieve back some data, then Snowflake will go on your behalf. Means you need to submit some request on the Snowflake portal, support portal, and then you will be able to retrieve your data. Otherwise you don't have direct access to get it. Okay. So in permanent table we will have that failsafe enabled by default in our enterprise edition, and it will be like whatever the duration it has, right? So basically if you think, the failsafe will have some more cost as compared to the other tables, because it will store the data for some more time, right? Whereas in the transient table you have the time travel feature available, you can go back in time, but fail safe feature will not be enabled for the transient table. So that is the only difference. And like in temporary you don't have any kind of time travel and this fail safe feature. Okay. So I hope this is clear. Now let me share my Snowflake screen. Yeah, any question?
Yeah. So the use case will be if we want a permanent rollback feature, then we need to go for permanent table. And
Yes.
if you don't want such kind of time travel data scenario, then it's transient,
Yes,
right?
yes, correct. So the best use case, like if you do not want to use the fail-safe feature, right? Just go with the transient table, because it will save some cost for your data storage. Hmm. And also fail-safe require intervention from the Snowflake. Yeah, like you cannot directly go and roll back that change, or you see the data in the past. So if we are like normal, if we just want time travel, just have the transient table. So transient table little bit cheaper as compared to the permanent table. So
Okay.
if you have some critical data, then keep it in that permanent table. Otherwise, transient table will suffice most of the task. Okay. So
So how we will distinguish between these three tables?
okay. So if you see the table, right? Let me create some tables. Okay. Okay, I think we have some history table. I think show history schema. Let me run or show schema history. See, with this, we have whenever this database, right? We have one information schema. In information schema, you can see the tables and all. Okay. In this table, you can see. Let me just see the data. Preview the data. In this table, you can see all the information related to that table. Okay. So that is one option, and user define. So auto commit is typed in insert table. See, this one flag is there in is transient. Okay, with this flag you will be able to see whether that table is transient or not. Okay, temporary I'm not sure, but there will be one another like if you just go in this classic console, right? You will see there is another type of logo is there. Let me just create one table. Create transient table test. Okay, we are in demo, right? So Snowflake learn and demo. So Snowflake learn and demo db here. Okay, so this is the permanent table. Okay, where you will see this kind of icon. But if we create some table, so name is string. Okay, so if you see the test table is created, if I refresh it from here, so in Snowflake learn you will see this type of logo here. Okay, and so by this gear icon you need to remember like this. Whenever we see this gear kind of icon, if you are going through this, then you will see this is one of the transient table and this is the permanent table. I am not sure about temporary. Let me see if we can see any difference. Yeah, so temporary will have this clock icon. So you need to remember these icons to distinguish, or you can go on this information schema in that database and go to the tables. There is one table as tables. These are basically views, right? This magnify glass is there, that means they are views. In these views we will have information about, this is the metadata of about our database, the database which we are using. So related to this demo db, all the information like what is the columns are there, right? Applicable roles are there, if we have defined anything, if we have any sequences defined in this, if we have stages, tables. So everything you can see in this metadata tables. So information schema is one, and second, from directly from here you can see which type of table it is. Okay. Okay, now okay, so the table types is clear, right? So now we can have the next topic is cloning, right? The cloning is, we can clone the data, and in Snowflake the term cloning is called as zero copy cloning. That means it is doing zero copy, means it is not doing any copy actually, but you will have the backup available for your table. Whereas you can go and do any kind of changes in your original table, your clone table will be available, and the time when you do the clone, right, only that changes will be visible to that, and any further changes into the actual table if you do those will not be visible. Okay, so let me create some tables over here and we can see that. So I have created one employee table in Snowflake learn. Let me refresh. Okay, sorry, it is in demo db, then public, then we have employee table. Okay, now I am inserting some data over here. So this will going to insert 3 records in it. Sorry, 4 records. Now if we see the data, it will show us 4 records in this one. Now let's clone this table. So the syntax for this is very simple. What you need to do, create or replace table. You can give the table name where you want to create it, just give the keyword as clone and the actual table name. Okay, so if I do this, let me just sorry, we are in demo, right? Let me just remove this, create or replace table. Where it is, we are in sorry, I'm in wrong database. So demo db and then public, we are here now. Okay, so you can see here, because I was not giving here the complete path of it. I was thinking it is set here, but it was not. So in our here in this schema, you can see there will be another table in DynamoDB and tables. You can see the clone. Okay, so this clone table, if we see the data in this clone table, it will be the 4 records in it. Now if we insert anything into the clone table or the actual table, okay, it will be like it will be all together separated. It is not like if you are doing any changes in the clone table, it will be reflected into your actual table. Okay, so we have inserted one table in clone. So if we see the clone data, one new data is there, first name as Mike Jones. Okay, now if we see the data into actual table, we have only 4 records because changes are separated. So in the same way, if we want to add anything in the in the actual table, if we insert in the actual table, it will be only in the actual table, it will not be in the clone table. So let me just do this clone. So you can see only the Mike is there, whereas here we have added George, but it is not visible. Okay, so ideally what happened in backend, the cloning whenever we do, right, it just clone in the cloud services layer. That means in the metadata layer only, it creates one link with the new name which is pointing to the original table. Okay, till this time it is fine, right? But whenever we make any change in any of the table, right, what it does, it just append that micro partition with that table. Okay, so it will just keep track in its metadata with this employee clone table. There is new record, that means it is a new micro partition added to this table whenever we added any new data in this, or whenever we add any new data into employee table, it keeps like with this employee table there is new micro partition with this value, whereas the other partitions, means the old partition which have, will be shared with both of these employees and employee clone. Okay, so whenever we make a clone, it is not going to copy entire data, it is zero copy, it is just giving a pointer to the existing micro partitions, and whenever there is a change in the table, it just create a new partitions and it will tag to that table only. So this concept is clear. Okay,
So Anupam, there is no physical storage for these tables, yeah?
sorry, please come again, please.
So there is no physical storage for these clone table.
Yes, with clone table, the physical location will be the old storage only. Okay, the actual
But
table.
we are inserting the data as well, right? So at that time also it will not store the data.
No, 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 no,
It
no,
will
no.
not take the physical location of the data.
No, no, no. It will take the location. So that I was explaining. So see, in our Snowflake, the data stores in a micro partition. Micro partition,
Mm-hmm.
that is the smallest unit where our data will actually stored. Okay. So suppose,
Right.
for example, suppose I'm just giving some way. In this employee table, suppose we have micro partitions as a comma b comma c comma d, for example, right? In this, it is pointing to currently employee table, right? When we do zero copy clone, it will copy the same, means it will point to the same micro partition with the different name in the metadata. Okay, this point is clear when we create a clone, right? now
Yes.
now what we do, suppose we have this insert statement. Okay, so suppose we have this insert statement and we are doing it in the clone one, right? So what will happen, the new snapshot will be kind of this. In the clone only, there will be one new addition of one partition which store this data. Getting my point?
Yeah, so it will take the storage cost then.
Yes, yes. If you are making
Okay.
any change, yes, then it is going to use the storage. But if you are
Okay.
not making any change, it will be pointing to the same storage.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Anupam, what happens when we delete the data from? So that also behaves like differently.
Yes, yes,
Separate.
correct, correct. So in the clone, suppose you deleted this two data, right? So from the metadata of this table, right? In the metadata, it is written like the employee clone data is stored in these four micro partitions. But when you delete that data, right? Deletion will be happen on the cloud services layer only. Suppose whatever the data is stored in the two blocks, you suppose deleted, so it will point now, it is taking the data from A and B only. So it handle even the delete operations is not actual the physical storage delete, because see, right, there is a time travel feature. Even though you deleted, it will be stored, right, until that time travel elapse, the duration of time travel. So that means the deletion operation will also be in the metadata, sorry, the storage cloud services layer only.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? So even if you are deleting anything, it is not going to delete the actual data. So it is just from the metadata, it just remove the links. Okay. So along with table, right, you can clone the database, even you can clone the schemas as well. Okay, on the same way. But again, if you are making any changes, it will be as a separate one treated. Whatever the changes you are going to make, it will be as a new thread in that database. So you can clone the database as well as you can clone the schemas as well. Okay, so but the good feature is, suppose in your schema you have TBs of data. If you execute the clone command, it will take only few seconds, because this cloning operations is only metadata operation, or we can say the cloud services operation, cloud services layer. Okay, so in this way you can have it. Any question in this cloning? This point is clear to everyone?
Yeah, Anupam, if we suppose if we entirely change the data of source table, so source table will have the new data and the clone table will have the older data like that.
Yes, yes. After cloning, right, after cloning, if you are making anything change, right, so as I mentioned here as well, so suppose you just remove all these things in this one, for example, and you inserted some new data, so it will be in the new micro partitions, right?
And old micro partition will be pointing to clone.
No, you deleted the data, right? if you deleted the data,
Yeah.
so in new clone, you deleted all the old data, right? That means you are cutting all the links with the old micro partitions.
No, suppose there is a requirement that we have to take a backup and do the changes into existing one.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, the older data will be pointed to clone environment, and the new data we will be appending into the
Correct. So
like
in your
existing data.
case, these are the micro partitions, right? ABCD. You cloned it. These ABCD same micro partitions will be pointed by this clone table. Correct. Now, what you are doing? You are adding the data or doing anything in the original table. Correct. So the micro partitions related to the actual table. Suppose you inserted new data. That means some new micro partitions will become here. Whereas the clone table will be pointing to the old micro partitions only.
Okay.
And that is what we have seen, right? If you want, like, I can repeat this again, because we have seen the data, right? In this data, when we have this 4 record, and after some time we added some more record as well. If we are adding the data in clone, it will be in the clone table only, it will not going to reflect in the actual table. So just think from your normal, when you are doing a backup, right? In other database, how you are doing, you are creating another table, correct? You are creating another table with different name. You are also doing the same here, right? And then when you created the backup, right, if you are doing anything with the backup table, it will be with the backup table only, it will not going to have in the actual table. So Snowflake maintain the same kind of functionality with the feature, it is not going to copy actual data, right? Because suppose 10 TB of data, if you are going to create a new backup in your Oracle or any other database, right, it will going to make entire copy of the data into new storage space, right? And it is going to take a huge time until that backup is completed, and that time it will be separated, and whatever you are doing with the backup table, it will be with the backup table. Whatever you are going to do with the original table, it will be with the original table. Same functionality is here on Snowflake as well. They are maintaining same kind of functionality, just because this operations at the metadata level, right? Their metadata or storage layer is so much advanced that it is not going to have the it is not going to copy the actual data into some other micro partitions. It is pointing to the same micro partitions, but if you are making any of the changes, it is reflecting the same kind of data, okay, in that table only. If you are making any change in the employee table, it is going to show the new data in the employee table, but in the old in the backup table, it will just going to show you the data the time when you do the clone. Okay.
Yeah, got it. Anupam.
All right.
So, Anupam, so if my understanding is clear, so this use case or scenario, right? So if you want to, if you want to do some triage, some production kind of a scenario, then in that case we can't do on the original table, right? So usually we will take a backup or clone table, and then we can do the triaging on that existing backup table, correct?
Correct. Yes.
This is one kind of a use case, correct?
Yes, absolutely true.
Okay,
even
thanks.
even this is one option, right? Another option, you can do anything with the feature of time travel. Okay. So in production, you want to do anything, right? Suppose you want to insert few more records, correct? Or suppose you want to delete some record. With the help of time travel, you can go back in time and see what was the data is there. So you also no need to have a clone also. So this cloning and time travel go hand in hand. You can either do cloning so that you can see a different object there, okay, a different object, whereas in the time travel also you have the same kind of feature, correct? With the with the cloning you want to see the data in the past, correct? With the cloning you are going to make some changes in the production table, you are creating a clone and then did some changes in the production table, actual table, and something happened wrong, then you, what you will do, you will go back in the clone table or your backup table and then see what time at that time what was the data is there, correct? With the help of time travel you can do the same thing. Okay, the point is clear here, right? Because cloning although it's a different concept, but the time travel is also has that feature, like you can go back in time and see. Because in cloning also what we are doing, we are creating a separate object which is like physically visible to us, right? So time travel is like you can go back in time and see in that table what was the data there in that time, in that point in time, whenever you go back in go back in time. Okay, so time travel you can do with the three method. One is the timestamp. Okay, if you remember the timestamp, what is the timestamp? If you just give this kind of timestamp. Okay, so let me create this table. Oh, also we can define the data retention time. Okay, so let me create and replace table. So my table is created, this is initially with 90 days. Now how I can check what is the data retention? I can go here and see show table history. So my table is my table, this table, right? You can see the history. Let me just show here. Okay, yeah. So see, although I deleted the table, right? I deleted the table first and created it again, right? So in the metadata it is storing as well, like when I created, when I dropped it. Okay, and what is the retention time? So initially also the retention time was 90 days, and the new table I have created, you can see when I created, I just now this created new table, correct? And you can see the retention time also. I can alter the table and update this retention time as well. If I just do that and again go show tables history, it will show me the 30 days. That means I can go back in time only for 30 days. So there are some other options also enabled. With the history you can see the all the history for that table. So suppose this my table is there, if I do drop, create or whatever, it will be in the history of this tables history. So in time travel you can see this retention time using this show table history. By that you can go back in time. So by default if I create any table, right, let me create another table. Okay, test 2 is created. Now see, so test 2 is here, and by default if you not give anything, the retention time will be 1, because this is set at the account level. Admins can change this time, like the default time, how much you need to set for the retention. Okay, by default for any table it will be set as a 1. So suppose if you are going to make any changes, right, let me do some experiment over here. Let me copy these DDLs from here, or we have these tables already, right? Okay, we will again experiment on it. Okay, so what I'm doing, I am again going to create this table. Okay, I'm doing it again. Okay, I just dropped it. Now I created and inserted some data in it. Okay, and also let me see this. Okay, this is clone. Let me take this, sorry. Okay, so if I select the data from this table, employee, right? So you can see this table has 4 records, correct? Now what I will do, I will take the same example or the concept which I was trying to explain you previously, like there is no difference between clone and this, right? So let me clone this table as a employee clone only. Again I am doing employee clone 1, clone employee. Okay, it is going to sorry, I am in this different one, demo db public, yes. Okay, so this is the employee clone 1. Now select star from this table. Okay, so in clone also you can see the same, in this table you can see the same. Now let me insert the table into actual insert the data into actual table, and we will note one thing here. It is inserted the data. Let me just take one thing here from open history. This is my I think it is not refreshed row 5. Okay, yeah, this is my last. If I click on query id, it will show which query I have executed. I can take this query id. Okay, let me copy this query id and let me add here this one. Okay, and I will show you what it will do. Okay, just give me 1 minute please. Okay, so now let's check the data into employee first. So this employee tables has 5 records, right? We recently added new one. If we see the clone, in clone we have the 4 tables because we cloned the table before inserting the data, correct? Now if I take this statement, right, so what it is saying, if I do employee, right, this is my table, correct? Sorry, employees. If I execute this statement, what will be the output? Can anyone tell me?
4 records.
4 records.
Yes. Okay, so let me run this. So you can see it is 4, but if I just execute this part, it will show me as a 5 record. That means the clone statement and this statement is the same, correct? That is what I was previously trying to explain you. So but the retention period is set for the table, right? If you clone the table, it will be there for forever, right? If you clone the table, it will be there for forever. But if you just try to do time travel, right, it is based on the retention period you have set for that table. Okay, so one option is you can go with the statement. Okay, if you want to do time travel in a particular table. Another option is like the time duration. So offset means how much, if you are doing as minus, right, how much minute back you want to go into the time. Okay, so 60 is seconds, so this offset in the seconds only. So 60 is second and 5 is minute, right? But when I executed this query, I executed I think 8:35 my time and it is 8:36 currently. Let me try to give only 30 seconds. Okay, so this is total 5 records. Before 30 minutes 30 seconds it will also show 5 records only. But if I go back in time, suppose 60 into like 3 minute back, I hope the table is there. Let me give 4 minute. Yeah, 4 minute back it has only 4 tables, and after that we have executed that. So if you do not know the query id, you can go with some time also. Like you thought it is like you did some changes like 2-3 hours ago, you can just give that time here, and then you can try to see the data before that time. Okay, so you can give the query id here and you can give the offset here to see the data. And third one is the exact time stamp. Okay, so today is Friday 17th, right? Okay, My time is Friday 17th here in US. So 17th June 2022, and currently is evening 8, right? So my time is this one, 8:37. So 8 is 20:37. So yeah, okay. So there is two thing, before and at. So at this time, what will be the data, or before also keyword we can use here. Okay, before. So before this query id, when we execute the change, what is before? But if we, I think if we keep it as at, right, it will show as a 5 only. Yeah, because at this statement there is new row added, but if we do before, it will show as a 4 records. So at and before is there, and you can add the same at any time, means with all these three: timestamp, offset, and statement. These are the three variations. So suppose if I run this statement, so before 317 it is that, let me give some else. Okay, it is at, right? Okay, the table was not present at this time. 35, it is there. When I made the change, I think 8:38. No, I don't remember. So let me give. Yeah, I made some changes at 8:33. Here I think. Yes. Okay. So if you know at what exact time you have did, you can give it as at or before, or if you want to go like some 30 minutes back, 20 minutes back, you can use this, or you can directly give the query id. So this is how time travel works. You can set the retention for particular table. By default it will be whatever set at the account level. The table will be created with that default one, and if you have access to alter that, then you can alter that data retention time also. Any question here?
I have one question. Not a question, just so let's say I made some changes today in a table, and I'm not using any clone thing, and I want to discard all the changes I made today. So, so what will be the query to?
Right. So suppose this is our statement, right? This is our statement before changes, correct? You want to retrieve it back, right? So what you can do? What you can do? Create table employees old as. Okay. Just execute it. It is created. Now you can see, select star from employee old. You will see 4 records only. So now you have employees old as well as the employee new. So with this way you can we can say the reinstate the same table, right? You can rename it with the some other name. You can drop the actual table, right? So suppose my data is there in the old table, correct? My data is there in the old table. What I can do, I can either like delete from employees, right? Whatever the data or the changes I have done, I can delete that and
again do the same.
Yeah, insert into employees. Insert into employees, I think as not required, and then select. Okay, so now in employees you have roll back your changes in the actual table as well. So this way you can have your old data back, and whatever the changes you have done, it is like it is rolled back till that time. Okay.
So means this workaround we have to do.
Correct. Yes.
I was. That's what I was looking for. Means, is there any particular command that we can go to that particular time but no, this method we need to do.
Yes, yes. So with this three type of statement, you can have go back in time, but this is only select statement, right? Correct. So this
Got
is,
it, got it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And this statement you can use anywhere. Like suppose if you want, you can apply some where conditions as well here. Okay. Anything you can perform, because this is that point in time table, and you can perform any kind of operation here, where employee ID equal to 100. Okay. So anything you can do here. Okay. So time travel is done and cloning are done. Cloning is done. So both concepts are little bit similar, but they have their own uniqueness and their own benefits. So in certification, you have some questions related to the retention period, right? Some fail safe time. So suppose I post last week, or sorry, not last week, last to last week on LinkedIn. There is one question I have posted there. Let me open it, because I got so many wrong question for that question. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, let me share. So are you able to see my screen? So
It just now started, Anupam, right?
no, it is started at I think 45 minutes back.
But you told that it's 30 minutes late, right? So 8:30. Okay, fine.
Just give me 1 minute, guys, please. Sorry for that.
हेलो
हाँ कप्पू.
हेलो
हेलो.
हाँ बोलो.
हाँ, कोई सा भी ले लो जो तुम्हें अच्छा लग रहा हो.
ले लिया वो कार्ड, पता नहीं क्यों चल नहीं रहा है यहाँ पे, वो आईसीआई वाला.
अब उसकी हो सकता है लिमिट पूरी हो गई होगी वो.
अच्छा 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 ठीक है, फिर
दू-
मैं
दू-
ऑनलाइन पेमेंट करती हूँ.
दूसरा कार्ड यूज़ कर लो, नहीं तो.
नहीं नहीं, मेरे पास एक ही है, वो शुभम के पास
हाँ तो ठीक है, उससे
ऑनलाइन कर रहे हैं.
ऑनलाइन कर दो. ठीक है, चलो, है ना.
हाँ ठीक.
हाँ चलो, बाय.
हाँ बाय.
Sorry guys. Yeah, Vivek, you were saying something.
No, I thought that it's a delay, right? So I saw your message. So
It is like
8:30 to
Yeah,
9, I thought that. Okay.
30 minute actually, not 8:30. I think some confusion. Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah. So basically we just covered time travel and data cloning, zero copy cloning. Those two concepts we have discussed. I can connect with you later. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. So this question I have asked. So can you guys let me know, historical data in temporary tables cannot be recovered by Snowflake?
That's true, right?
Yeah, because there is no timetable.
Correct. So the tables are temporary, right?
Basically, there is no fail-safe, right?
Correct. No fail-safe, no time travel, right?
No
So
time travel, no. It's for that session only.
correct. So
Session,
recovered
not-
by Snowflake. So we need to go with the keyword. So recovered by Snowflake. So Snowflake only recovered when there is a
Fail-safe.
fail-safe time, right? And with this, and second thing is it's a temporary table, right? So with temporary table there will not be anything, right? So the answer will be true, correct? Historical data in temporary tables cannot be recovered by Snowflake. Yes, the answer is true, right?
Yeah, it should be true. Actually, that statement is kind of a negative statement, so
Yes,
that
it is
might.
negative statement, right? Correct. So that is why like this. So this is just to show you, in your certification you will see this kind of question, and if the concept is not very clear, you will choose the again other option. Okay, even you will get the negative question only most of the time. Okay, if that is not clear, so you can see like 63% give the wrong answer, only 38%. So that is why this type of questions are there in the certifications. Okay, so in your certification just be clear like what you are going to means what they are asking. It will be a simple one liner question in your certification. It is not like too much scenario based question in Snowflake. At least it is just one line or two liner questions, but your concept should be very clear. Okay, so with this time travel and cloning, the retention time, fail safe period, and you need to remember with each addition. Okay, with each addition which type of fail safe is there. If you go with the standard one, right, I think with that I don't think any fail safe is there, and I'm not sure whether any this time travel feature is there. If it is there, it will be only for I think one day or something. It is not, you cannot go 90 days in standard edition for sure. Okay, so for that you need to go to the documentation and you need to see these concept is not for your day to day work, right? These questions are for your certifications. Because see, in your whenever you are going to work, right, most of the time it will be enterprise only, and with enterprise uh, time travel comes with a 90 days. But if you have, or it will not be that, right, you are switching between standard and enterprise edition or the business critical edition. It will be one edition for you to work, right, from starting to end in your company or with your client. So with client, if it is enterprise version, that is, then it is clear like it is 90 days, right? Or you can just go to the documentation and check what is the current time travel available for the enterprise solution. But if it is the standard one, for example, in worst case, then also you can go into the documentation and check what is that there. So all these things for the certification you need to remember it actually, right? So just make some notes on the cloning, time travel, and the retention time and all, because there will be like 2 3 questions around it. Okay, all right, so we have 10 minutes left, and another session I think we have link as well, so you guys can join that as well. Okay, I hope you all have that, or if not, let me know. uh, do you guys have another link? It is like those guys who were last time, right, in the second session. It is for those only, so I am adding Ashish. uh, who else is there? Let me check. Sumit you have, I think, right? Yeah, Sumit you have, Vivek have, Manish has.
That one, right?
Yeah, I'm rescheduling it from 9, sorry, your time from 9:30 to 10:30. I'm rescheduling it. So who else is left? Let me see. Indu is there. Okay. So Indu, was that you asking so many questions? Satish Kumar. Satish NS, right? Satish, what is your email ID?
It's Satish. 1 minute.
Satish NS or something else? NS Satish 2208.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Okay. I think you also have that, right? Let
Yeah,
me
yeah, have that. Yeah.
let me save this. Okay, can you guys go and check in your calendar? There is another invite in from 9:30 IST. You all have, right?
Yes, got it.
Yeah.
Yes, Akshay, Ashish, Indu,
Yes.
Manish. Okay, all right then. If this call drops, right, in another, I think 3-4 minutes, we will jump to the another one. Okay. All right. So we are done with this cloning and time travel. Now we will see the structure, semi-structured data, how we can load that data into Snowflake. Or guys, just do one thing, just drop this call and let's join this because we are starting new topic, right? So let's not get disturbed again. Just drop from here and rejoin that one. Or I'm opening it, that link as well, so you guys can have join it right now. Umesh, Vivek, Sumit,
Yeah. I will join that.
yeah, join that link. Vivek, can you join there, the other link? Sumit. Sumit, if you are able to hear me, please join the other link. I'm closing this one.
Anupam, you are on mute.
Yes, I'm talking to the other link guys. Like if they are there, they can join this one only. Okay. Manish has left. Okay, no problem. People will join this. Or let me send one email to those guys. This is because of this free version. We need to upgrade it. Hello, Vivek.
Hey, hi.
Welcome back. Okay. Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So now we will see little bit on the semi-structured data. So there will be some questions in certification related to this. Okay. So semi-structured data is like you already aware, right? XML data, JSON data, where the structure is not fixed. It is like semi-structured. Okay, it has some structure, but it is not like well formatted. Okay, so we will see one of the JSON file. So these files provided by Snowflake only. So I am just using it. So let me just create one stage area. So to load any external table, right, either you can go with the wizard, right, go to database, then table, then load table. There you need to define your this file format, right, and then you can have it. But other option is like keep that file into your staging area, and from that staging area you directly load into the Snowflake table. Okay, so we are going to see right now that. So I just created one table, one stage. So this S3 location is open. Okay, and it will be available in the documentation. I'll share some URLs. Okay, so the list is created. Let's see what is there in that list. So to on that stage, so to list the document which is available on the stage, we just have the command list @ and the stage name. Okay, so you can see this JSON file is there, JSON tutorial.json. Okay, so I'm just creating one table on top of this this stage table we have, right? So I'm just creating first one structure of the table. So this structure, yeah. So one point to remember here, to create any semi-structured data, to hold that semi-structured data, we need variant kind of this what we say, what do we say, the string int, what is this?
Data type.
Yeah, data type, correct, sorry. So to load the semi-structured data, we need variant data type. Okay, in the variant data type you can have XML, JSON, and some other semi-structured data, semi-structured file formats. Okay, so in this source, what we are going to do, this is our column src, we are going to copy the data from our JSON file. Okay, so the statement is like, this is our list, right? We need to give the path where our file is reside. So if you see in this path, we have this long path till here. Okay, till this path we need to give this whole path, sorry, not whole path. See, till JSON we have already created this list, right? So after JSON, this is server and all, right? From here to here we need to define. So we have given here the path of that file. Now we need to give the file format. The file format is JSON, and we can copy this data into our source table, that raw table we have created. So if we execute this statement, okay, you need to remember this statement, copy into the table from the stage and last the file format. If I execute it, the data from the staging table, you can see the status. If you are just give this copy command, it is showing the file. This file is loaded, the status is loaded, and it has how many rows? 1 rows only. Okay, if you want to see the data, we can just execute this query, and you can see this is how the data is there in that table. So we have the device type, the event, right? Then we have inside the event we have f, rv, tv, right? These all things are there, f, rv, tv. So let me just copy this part and JSON formatter, let me just go. I'll show you my screen again. Yeah, okay, you guys are able to see my screen, right? So if you see, these are kind of some the column, right? Or tags in the JSON file, correct? So this tag device type is server here. Inside this device type we have events, right? In events we have multiple events, you can see here, right? One event from here till here, another event is from here till here, right? And then another tag as version also here. Okay, so this data, although you have loaded it, right, already you have loaded in the JSON, but sorry, in your Snowflake table, correct? But is it of use anything? Can you use this data? No, right? If the data is there in the Snowflake, then this data should be in the tabular format. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to flatten this data. Okay, I think if you have worked with some kind of data loading through some of the ETL tool, like I worked with StreamSet, there it has like field flattener. There is one stage. If you directly use on the JSON data, it will flat the data. That means it will give us in a form of columns and the rows. Okay, for each column there is some value in that, and the same kind of value we will see it here. Okay, so if you are able to see my screen, right, this device type, we have one tag as device type. Inside this value is server. Okay, so if you just execute this server colon device type, sorry, yes, source colon device type, if it will give you the value as server only. Okay, now what you can do, you can typecast it, the same column, in a string. If you just run it again, then it will show as a server only. So this is one way you can do any kind of this. Let me just show another thing. So we have events, right? Let me give you the example of version. Okay, if I do source version and the string, right, it will give me that value. So we just need to define that, and we can flatten that data. So you need to little bit remember that query, how you can do. So whenever you have this query, right, select star from this, you need to put comma and then lateral flatten, and you need to put the event, you need to give which part of that JSON file you need to flatten out. So if you remember the events, right, if you see in events, there are like these columns f, like these are the tag f, rv, t, v, correct? So if I flatten this data based on the events, right, it can give me in multiple columns. Okay, so this is source value, the normal value we can see in the value, right? In the value you can see it is giving me inside of that only, inside of the events only, it is showing me all these things. Along with this, it is giving me the index also, because see, in our file we have two, right, inside the events. This is one data and this is another data, correct? This is two events, it was there. So this is some kind of like it is keeping separated the all the rows values, right? Now we have the data available in the value column, right? Now we can get it out again. So let me just run this query. Yeah, sorry. So we have added other columns as well here, right? In the same way you can use value and that particular column to get the value of it. So suppose if I want, so this is lateral flatten on the events, correct? Now I can take the value from this table particularly. Okay, from this value, let me just colon, I think, am I doing correct or not? Let me see. F, for example. So you can see the value in that column F, what is inside that value. Okay, so this way you can keep all these columns in a one by one. So you have F, right? Then what all the columns you have? This is little bit manual also, like if you think like you can do entire in a one go, that is not possible actually.
Anupam, in SSIS, I used to work on JSON. So there, open JSON was the function in SSIS, means in SQL, where we used to means do that, and all the hierarchy from parent child will open up like key value pair.
Yes, like in this also I think you can do, but the columns, like see, we have done it here, right? If I just let me show you. The reason here is it is like kind of multi nested kind of, right? We have first layer as this one, whereas in events we have multiple here, right? So
nesting, parent child
nesting is there inside this events, correct? So at least once if we have, right, so this is what I'm doing, right? F, rv, suppose in rv I think we have lot of thing, right? In rv also, not take rv, let's take this v. So you are saying in that it is doing recursive this typecasting also?
Yes, in like I means in SQL server itself.
Okay,
there was the open JSON function, and if we put the code into it, it will open for SQL server.
Okay. I am not very sure whether that functionality is possible here or not, but we can check on the documentation. Okay, so this is just to give you some starting idea, like those functionalities is there. If you flatten it, you can see it the data as well. But nested, I think at certain level we can do, but it will be a manual task only if you have the data nested in that JSON. So suppose if you have simple JSON, right? See, this is little bit nested one, right? Inside it you have multiple nesting. But suppose in a simple JSON, for example, I can give like employee name, right? Something I have given as Anupam, right? Another column is salary, for example. Another is salary, right? Then another tag is location, okay? And location, suppose Phoenix, okay? This is one tag, okay? Let me have multiple, and then I can add some more. Okay, let me know if I'm doing something wrong here. What was our JSON? I need to see. Okay, so this I can give as employee over there, okay? So I can give employee as starting from here, starting from here, right? And if I can close it here. Is this correct? I'm not very sure. Employee in this one, no, I think I need to do nesting. Let me take, okay, so if we have some this type of data, right? Are you able to see this JSON file, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if we have this type of data, right, whereas the columns and so these are the employee details, right, and this is employee related details in a nested manner, but it is like not multiple time nested, right, recursively. If we do this kind of data, right, if we take out this kind of data, it will be easily come out. But like we have this lateral flattened it, this keyword, right? You are flattening which part? See, we are flattening the source and event. Inside event we have multiple data, right? We have multiple tags in it, in the source event, right? We are flattening it. So for each JSON part, right, where it is typecasted, sorry, it is nested, we need to do the lateral flattening of it. Sometimes like it is possible, but it may be little bit complex also. So let me just, okay.
Anupam, here what we are doing, the source is our column name and the column is our the field which we want to flatten, right?
Yes. So in raw source we have one column as a src, okay?
Correct.
From that src there is event, right? If we see in event we have multiple values here.
Correct.
So what we are trying to do, we are flattening this event, right? So
Okay.
flattening event.
Sorry to interrupt. I have shared a link in the meeting chat,
Okay.
which is having the how to extract data from a file, JSON file.
Okay.
Actually, mostly Python connector is used because I used to also work on Python connector because it shows the path through which it can be extracted.
So it's the same example, right? Kind of the basic. Okay, this
Yes.
is, it is children. Okay. So flatten is there, right? So see here also for uh, each part, right? Suppose this children, right? It is coming also here, right? This path again they need to flatten it out. So this see, it is not like you just write it once the simple and it will come everything in a simpler manner. See how they are doing. See each part they are flattening it. So I was also trying to explain the same, right?
Yes,
uh,
yes.
uh, like let me share my screen. Yeah, so as I mentioning, they just did means I just did here only one part of this flatten, this event one, correct? Inside it we have this v as well. No,
Three.
v, right? Column v
Yes.
also is there, so we can do that also flattening.
Then we need to go the source event, then V, right?
Yes, we need to define that path. Source, then event, and then v.
V.
Okay, so let me see. I think I have missed the bracket. Yes, it will come. Mm, what happened in the post? Table flatten. Okay.
I think we need to put dot, right, instead of event dot V, not colon, right?
Where?
Event dot. Can you try with dot?
No, I think we need to put. So duplicate alias flatten. I think yeah, I think you guys can refer that as well, right? I think that document is really good. So yes, it is using, they are using the table flattening something. Okay, so ultimately you need to flatten that data, right? What is that table they have defined? Yeah, so there is two type. You can use the flatten or the lateral flatten. Yeah, so okay, I'm sharing, right? Yeah, so instead of this, right, you, if you follow that document, then you can get the nested value also, means. But if you see that document in this one, let me share. Yeah, they are doing flattening of it. So employee name, employees dot value. Okay, they are going with the value, right? So you need to, in this document, right, they are explaining at each step level like how you can go with that. So yes, this is a really good document and we should follow to get the data flattened for the CSV, this JSON file. So I'll also keep this with me. Thank you.
Anupam, we can create a group for this, and if you are also getting anything related to Snowflake certification or anything, you can share on that group.
Sure,
Sorry.
sure. Like I already did that in 2 years back. Okay, I'll share one.
I have a cheat sheet with me. Actually, I have one cheat sheet for this certification, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm preparing for the certification, so I have some documents for the certification preparation.
Sure.
Yes, Vivek. You can share it on the group. Anupam or anyone can create
Yes.
the group.
I'll. So
Of the
WhatsApp
document.
group is okay, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
WhatsApp group only. WhatsApp group only.
Sure. I'll create it over the weekend, and
Okay.
yeah. So I think that cheat sheet will also contain the question and answer, right? I think.
No, it is a shortcut like temporary table. It is saying the points, right? Time travel is not there. Time travel for 1 day, no fail safe, like that way.
Okay. So
In
it's a
four,
it's a
five,
kind of
six.
flashcard kind of thing where those
Yes,
things you need to
yes.
remember. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
really good thing. I would also suggest one thing. uh, once you go with the normal the concepts, right? Like I just explained little bit about the JSON, right? It is not in detail, right? I also do not remember so much in detail, right? But I am here
Correct.
just to give you an idea how it can process it, right? So what
Correct.
now you can do, once you are little bit familiar with this concept, right? Before your certification, just give some test paper like multiple times. So in Udemy, I'll share one link with you guys on WhatsApp. There is like so many papers, like I think in one course you have like three or
Four set.
five
Four
papers.
set.
Yeah, 4 or 5 test papers. Just go and do practice over there. Okay, in your actual certification there will be plenty of time, so time is not a concern, just only the concept should be clear, and the question is like one liner only, and it won't take much time. Okay,
Correct.
if you're confident enough and you are getting around 90% or more than 90% in that exam, then surely you will clear this certification also. Okay. Okay, so this semi structure is done. Now I will touch base little bit on the snow pipe. Snow pipe, it won't come much in certification. You should just have a little bit knowledge on it. Okay, but with the snowflake, sorry, snow pipe, right? With the snow pipe, what we need to do, we need to set up some mechanism. So let me show you. Okay, you are able to see snowflake, right? You are able to snowflake screen, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So what is snow pipe? Can anyone tell me?
Real time streaming of the data.
Correct. And how it does? Or where we get the data? If you want to have real time data loaded
Stage.
into, yes, in stage, and in stage data will comes in the forms of files, correct? True or not? Did I lose you guys?
No.
You are here, right? Okay, so for snowflake snow pipe, right? Snow pipe is just one advanced concept where any files which is coming into the stage area, particular defined stage area, it will automatically load into your table. Okay, so to define one snow pipe, right, what all things you require? With snowpipe you load the data into table. That means first thing you need is one table, so you need to create one table structure. Okay, second thing, you need to have one staging area defined. Okay, third thing is you need to have mechanism to load the data from that staging area to the table. Can anyone tell me whether we have discussed that part just now or not, to load the data from staging area to the table? We did it here, if you guys remember,
Yeah, flattening of the data and
before
Yeah,
flattening,
put
right? So
filing. Yeah.
this copy command, right, this copy into row source sorry, raw source, and we are getting this from this one. Okay, and if you have observed one thing, let me run it again. Okay, it is showing copy executed with 0 file processed. Can anyone tell me why?
There was no file, right?
No, there is file, right? You can see, I can list it here.
Okay. Okay.
We can list it, and in this raw source, raw source, we have loaded the data as well, right? You can see the data from that simple JSON file. But if I am executing it again, the copy statement, it is showing me copy executed with 0 file processed.
The data is already loaded, that's why.
Correct, absolutely true.
Yeah, that's what. Data is already loaded, so file is not present. Maybe it has been archived or something.
No, file is present, but if I do this here, right, list at the list my stage, right, you can see one column here, and now you can understand why this MD5 column is here.
Right.
Because with the help of this MD5 function, Snowflake will keep track whether I have processed this file already or not.
Correct.
Anupam, let's say there is a change in the file, so this checksum value will change. Is it true?
Yes, it is on the data only, inside the data. Okay, this MD5 function, I need to check again. There is two possibility, whether it is on the name of the file or second on the content of the file. This MD5 function, I think so, on the name of the file only. Okay, and it is just
so inside data, even if it changes, it won't copy. But we are not sure about that.
Yeah. So just need to explore on it. Okay. But
Anupam, MD5 is basically on the name of the file. So
correct.
when we are copying the file, right, and we are trying to copy the same file again, the copy command, right, it will not allow because they have maintained that MD5 on the name of the.
Correct. So it is on, I think, on the name of the file. Okay. So because of this MD5, if you are copying it again, it is not going to process it. Okay. In Snowpipe, now we have already things are available, right? We have one stage available, we have one table available, right? And how we can load the data from stage to the table, this copy statement is also available. Correct? Now what we need to do? We just need to use this copy command and create one pipe. Is it only pipe or Snowpipe? Yeah, I think it's only pipe. Okay, let me, yeah. Okay, so this is the statement. Okay, whatever the copy statement we have, on top of it, create or replace pipe, you can give the pipe name, auto ingest equal to true. Okay, auto ingest equal to true means whenever any new files come into that path, it is automatically going to load it. Okay, this true flag we need to set it, and if we execute it, it creates one pipe. Okay, now if we do show pipes, yeah, so if you do show pipe, it will show you the pipe name, okay, the database, the schema where, and the definition of it. Definition will be the copy statement, what type of or what copy statement it is going to execute. That means from where this pipe will going to copy the data and where it will going to load it. So this is our target table, this is our the staging area, right, from where it is copying. One thing we need to note here is the notification channel. Okay, now we have everything in place. Okay, we have Snowpipe, we have staging area, we have table also available. Whether if I keep any files in the staging area, whether now it will be automatically will load into the table. Can anyone tell me whether it will automatic load the data into my table if I just perform all these steps?
It should, because it is auto ingest is equal to true.
Yes, auto ingest is true, but the now the one question should be how my Snowpipe will get to know there is a file, new file is available over there.
With MD5 function, because it will generate the new MD5 function for it.
No. So see, it will generate a new MD5 function, right? But you can see here, right? This is my stage, correct? This stage is basically pointing to this S3 location, correct? Snowflake will not go, the Snowpipe will not go here and check every time. Our Snowpipe will not go into this path to check whether the file is present or not every whatever the time you can say. Okay, so what we need to do, we need to have one notification mechanism available from this S3 location, so that it will tell our Snowpipe, boss, go ahead and run it and load the data if the file is new. So that is why if you see, this is the notification channel over here. This is the channel open. On this channel, your cloud service provider, this is your cloud services, right? This S3 is cloud service. This cloud service.
Are you sharing, Anupam?
Yes, I'm sharing.
You're sharing that. I am seeing that
Snowflake
worksheet only.
Yeah. So in the JSON sheet, I'm sharing this path only. Like, see, there is nothing, right? I just write it here, the Snowpipe, correct? Let me just take it from here and paste it here. Okay, now we are loading the data from this location, correct? This is my S3 location, or in case of Azure it will be that blob storage. In case of Google Cloud, it will be the cloud storage. From that cloud storage, we need to have some mechanism. Let me execute that. Just a minute. It is in, I think, Snowflake DB, right? Yeah, Snowflake learn and public. Just a minute. Snowflake learn and public. So if I do show pipes, yeah. So what I was saying, from this cloud location, this cloud storage location, S3 location, this cloud provider should send some notification on this notification channel, like the file is available, you can go ahead and process the data. Okay, so as I worked in cloud, AWS, right? AWS and GCP, I worked and I know how to get notified to this one. Okay, but if you guys have not worked on any of the cloud, right? So this concept little bit bounce to you. Okay, I have one document created for this. Let me share my screen. It is on the Medium, like long back in 2020 I have created how to automate and load the data from S3 bucket using the Snowpipe. Okay, so you have this stage available, right? You have this copy command available, everything is there, right? And also you have created this Snowpipe as well. But how you can enable that notification, right? This notification channel which is available here, if you click on the show pipe, with this pipe, this is the notification channel where your cloud provider will notify the file is available, you can go ahead and proceed. We need to do some setting. So I have take out some snapshot of it, like I did long back. It is a simple thing, but if this steps will be very based on your cloud service provider. So if you are using Azure, then you need to check in the Azure documentation how you can enable the notification. With GCP, there will be other steps. Okay, so in S3, I know, like, for some of you the S3 is like you are maybe not using, but I'm just trying to show you like how you can do in S3 only. So in S3, that bucket, if you go to the properties, in properties you have the event tab available here. In the event tab, what you need to do, you just give some name here and you need to check like on which event you need to do something. So all object create events. So in this bucket, if all the objects, means any of the object is created over there, what you need to do, send to sqsq. Okay, add sqsq-arn. So this path you are seeing here, right? sqsq-arn. ARN is AWS resource number. If you see on this notification channel as well, in this notification channel, if you see, this is ARN, right? You need to copy this entire unique part from here, okay, and you need to paste over here. That's it you need to do. So whenever any object is created in this S3 location, it will send the notification into that ARN, that AWS resource number, using the SQSQ. So SQS is like simple queuing service, where it send the notification to the queue, and whenever downstream is available, it will pick the notice from there. Okay, or whenever downstream consumer is available, it will pick from here. So this is the process you need to follow to have your automated data loading. Otherwise your data loading will not be automated. So in Snowpipe, it is dependent on your cloud provider. Any question here? Okay, can we move to the next topic? All right, I'm taking it. Yeah, I'm taking it as a no. So the last topic for today, I'm going to cover the data sharing. Okay, so data sharing is also is a unique feature from Snowflake, but generally we won't use it. Generally, because the reason is, data sharing, when you are sharing your data with the other consumers, other consumer means they are outside of your enterprise boundary. Okay, that feature, this feature will be very useful when you want to share your data outside your enterprise boundary. Okay, and generally we won't do that, correct? With which client we are working, if it is a banking client, there is a big no, right? They are not going to share their data with anyone. Like most of the enterprises, they generally do not share their data, but still it's a unique feature. But some of the companies or parties, right, where some data is like publicly available. For example, some companies is generating the traffic signal data in US, for example. Okay, if anyone wants to buy that data, sometimes previously they share some CSV files, JSON files, or XML files. But if they are in the data sharing business, or they are selling the data, then they can use the Snowflake for the better management of the data sharing. Okay, otherwise, like, there are multiple methods or ways through which you can share the data, but it is like little bit cumbersome. You need to take out the data from your tables, you need to do export, and then you need to push the data from through some FTP server, or through some XPay mechanism, or whatever the third party tool you are using, correct? But in Snowflake, with simple few commands, other party will get the data easily. And if you see this Snowflake, this data is also shared, right? You can see this here also it is mentioned, the Snowflake share, this is also share. So this data is shared by Snowflake to us, right? In the same way, we can share our data with anyone. Okay, so how to do that? To share the data, the person should have account admin role access. Without account admin and role access, if I choose the public one, right? Let me choose the public. In public, see, secure share enable you to consume data being shared with your organization, and also provide data to others. Contact your account administrator to get access. So with share, you should have account admin access to create any share, right? Without means without having account admin access, you cannot share your data with anyone else. Okay, so this is one must thing. Sometimes there may be question on the sharing, like by using which account admin, which role you can have the data sharing enable. And as I have changed the role to account admin, I can see here like something secure shares, uh, inbound, outbound, right? Inbound is these two, right? Sample data and account usage. So this account usage is shared by Snowflake to everyone like who has created the account over there. Okay, and we have some sample data as well. So this is inbound, like someone has shared with us. And if we want to share, then we need to go to outbound. We are sharing our data to someone else. Okay, we can go and create it. Now we can just give some name over here. Suppose employee data, employee share data. What we need to do, we need to select where is our data. Okay, you need to select that particular table which you want to share, or if you want to share some schema, that also you can do, but for now I'm just clicking on the table only. Okay, so this sorry we need to select the table and views. We cannot share direct the entire schema. We can share it on the basis of tables and views only. Okay, so currently we are sharing one only. This is employee. Okay, one thing is need to be remember here. We can share the data with some other Snowflake account. Okay, or if they do not have any account, we can share with them also, but for that we need to create some reader account. Okay, this will be the next part. Okay, so view is there, right? Let me add consumer. Okay, so if you want to share your data, either you can directly share with some other account. Okay, those account will be called as a full account. Okay, there you just need to give the account name only. Okay, and what is the account name? If you remember, before like in your URL, right? In your URL you will get some unique number, right? That unique number is the Snowflake account. So if you just give the other person's Snowflake account number, the unique number, if you are able to see this screen, okay, here this part, right? You are able to see, right? DDA 44954, correct?
No.
I think it is on that, so maybe you will not be able to see, but you are getting my point, right? Before the Snowflake computing, the one part is there, right? The some unique number, that is the your Snowflake account number name, sorry. Okay, that name.
Anupam, this reader and full, does it means that read only access or write only means that part? No.
No. Let me share my full screen so that you will be able to see that. Let me share just a minute. Where is my Chrome? Sorry guys, let me share. I need to close this. Sorry, I need to open it again. Snowflake, right? I don't know. Snowflake, yeah, this one. In your URL, this part is right. If you are just going with the new one, this is DDA, right? This is your account. Okay, and also if you go on the console, sorry, classic console, on the classic console, this part you are able to see, right? This part DDA 44954, this is your account name. Okay, so in shares I need to create again. Okay, it is already created. Yeah, so we were at this part, right? We have shared some data, correct? And then uh, we need to select the account, right? So full account means the other party's account. Suppose Ashish has created its own account, right? I can give Ashish unique number here. For example, suppose it is Ashish only. Okay, so Ashish will be having the access. The difference between these two is the full account, the account type is full, right? If Ashish is going to create the inbound tables from this, then Ashish is going to pay for the execution part. Means the warehouse which is available in Ashish account, those will be used to execute the query. So in this case, you are not going to pay anything for your data sharing. Okay, because they have their own Snowflake account and they are just adding your data sharing with them, and if they want to query any data, they will going to keep their warehouse to execute it, the select query and all. But if they do not have any account, right, then what we can do, we can create some reader account. With the reader account, the charges of executing query, right, it will be with us because this is reader account and we have created the reader.